Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Elo Bandit, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm here today to practice shoutcasting, actually. I'm joining the Shoutcasting club at my college, and basically we go over games and, commentate and stuff. So I figured what better way to practice than to go over some very famous Pokemon Showdown matches. So I figured might as well get into it. These are all taken from r/Pokemon Showdown. These are some of the top matches of the subreddit. And here we have a match. This is OU. This is actually the OU finals in a tournament between Assault Vest Latias and Sacred Gengar. So I'm going to go ahead and start the match and commentate in real time. We see AV Lat lead off with Azelf versus Sacred Gengar Slowbro. Azelf is going to skill swap, getting that Regenerator, as Slowbro Scald's dealing actually just over half, meaning that he can't take another one. So he does switch off into Raikou here, taking the Ice Beam quite well. Ice Beam lands, probably predicting Latios, but Raikou is going to Volt Switch. Amoonguss does resist the hit, but Raikou gets to switch off into Latios, which does threaten Amoonguss. Amoonguss is going to switch off into Chansey, as Latios does go for the trick, giving Chansey this Choice Scarf and taking the Eviolite for itself. Psyshock is going to land, critting and doing 60%, which is quite significant, as Chansey is given back its Eviolite and Latios gets its Choice Scarf back. At this point, Sacred Gengar switches to Heatran, as Latios tricks again, giving Heatran the Choice Scarf and giving Latios the Air Balloon, which really doesn't do anything for it since Latios already has Levitate. Latios is going to trick the blue now onto Amoonguss, as it receives the Black Sludge. Switches off into Heatran and tricks again, giving Heatran the Black Sludge and Latios the Choice Scarf. This is going to do some damage over time to Heatran, but otherwise very questionable play. Heatran does get up the Stealth Rocks, which is huge. It'll punish every single switch that Assault Vest Latias makes. Raikou does Volt Switch on the Chansey. Goes into his Scizor, who's either going to Sword Stance or Superpower on this. Scizor does go for the Sword Stance here, as Skarmory is going to take the Superpower to the face, do some Rocky Helmet damage, and then finish off Scizor with a counter, which doubles the damage of the last hit he took. Raikou coming in, going to force out the Skarmory and actually double into Latios. Skarmory doesn't want to take an electric move, so he goes right into Amoonguss. And now forcing another switch, AV Lat doubles again into Greninja, and Heatran comes out. So AV Lat still has the edge here, as Sacred Gengar is forced to go into Chansey. AV Lat, predicting this, goes for the low kick. Does 34%, not quite enough to 2-hit KO the Chansey from this range, as Chansey is able to soft boiled up without a crit. There's no way he's going to be able to knock this out. So Latios coming in, Chansey going to soft boiled, switching into Slowbro on the predicted trick, but instead Draco Meteor lands, and doesn't do quite the health, meaning that doesn't do quite half health, meaning switch to Raikou is better than anything else. Amoonguss comes in on the predicted Volt Switch, but Thunderbolt is going to land instead. Popping the balloon, not really much of a difference there. Thunderbolt going to land again. His foul play isn't going to quite finish off Raikou. Thunderbolt lands, Amoonguss going to Giga Drain, get a little bit of health back, as Raikou does go down. In comes Latios, going to force a switch off into Slowbro, as Latios does trick. Slowbro now has the Choice Scarf, and Latios has the Assault Vest, being true to the name of the player, Assault Vest Latias. Close enough. Latios, same thing. Ice Beam lands, doesn't quite take out Latios, but at this point, Chansey's going to sponge up any hit that Latios can fire off. Psyshock without a crit is going to be doing basically no damage at all, as Chansey does get the Toxic off, putting Latios on a timer. Psyshock going to do barely anything again. Toxic, just in case he decided to switch there. And then at this point, Latios is going to Psyshock one last time, and Chansey is going to soft build up back to full health as Latios goes down to Toxic. In comes Azelf, just going to straight up explode. Chansey just hit soft boiled, not knowing exactly what he's going to go for there. Basically doing no net damage, since Chansey took that hit extremely well. At this point, though, Diggersby is going to come in, do more than half, and force a switch off, but does get Toxic. Fire Punch is actually going to land on Heracross. At this point, that was actually very good prediction on his point. Skarmory does come in, takes another Fire Punch, but does do Rocky Helmet damage, and Toxic damage is going to whittle away this Diggersby. In comes Slowbro, which is actually a switch to Heatran to get the Regenerator off, and Quick Attack is barely going to do any damage to Heatran, as we do see the recoil damage from Life Orb and the Toxic damage finishing off the Diggersby. Greninja is going to aim a low kick at Heatran, but it's going to connect with the Amoonguss. At this point, Greninja is on a timer. Every single attack he makes is another little bit of life orb damage. But he is able to actually take out his opponents here. So he is able to Dark Pulse the Slowbro, he's able to Low Kick the Heatran, and at this point he only has 2 moves left before he goes down to Life Orb Recoil, but in comes Chansey, and he is actually able to finish it off with the Low Kick, just barely surviving the match and turning the game around. Assault vs Latias does have a victory over Sacred Gengar here. Quite an intense match with a huge comeback. Alright, now we have match 2. This is going to be Yoki versus Dakota Truth. We're going to see a Celebi leadoff versus an Espeon, as Espeon is going to trick its Choice Scarf onto the Celebi, preventing any sort of baton pass, as he is going to go for the Sword Stance, predictably. Now he's locked into that. Dazzling Gleam does land on the Volcanion, not doing that much damage. Gyarados is going to swap in. At this point, Volcanion does Sludge Bomb, gets the poison off on the Gyarados, but Gyarados does reveal Rest, healing off status and bringing him back to full health in exchange for 2 turns of sleep. Volcanion isn't going to be able to actually knock this thing out with Sludge Bomb or Fire Blast or any other of its moves, as Gyarados is going to click Sleep Talk. So Gyarados, at this point, he's boosting up his attack, he's boosting up his speed, and he is resting whenever he gets low, bringing him back to full health. Now, in a way, this is sort of a stalemate, because Volcanion has the ability Water Absorb, meaning that anytime Gyarados attacks with his only actual attacking move, Waterfall, it won't do any damage to Volcanion, and it will only heal it, as evidenced by this right here. Flamethrower lands, of course, not going to do really any damage to Gyarados, so Gyarados can't damage Volcanion, Volcanion can't damage Gyarados. Gyarados probably will run out of PP first, meaning that this is actually still in Volcanion's favor, but Gyarados is able to still continue boosting up his stats, seemingly pointlessly, but Gyarados is just going to keep Dragon Dancing, keep boosting up its attack, keep boosting its speed, and it's got Sleep Talk, it's got Waterfall, it's got Dragon Dance, and it's got Rest. That means its only attacking move is Waterfall, meaning that, it really can't touch Volcanion. Until it shows that it's a Mega Evolution, with the ability Mold Breaker, which ignores abilities, taking out the Volcanion, taking out the Gengar, and we do see a forfeit coming out from Dakota Truth. That is extremely funny, and I'm very, very glad that I was able to witness that battle. Alright, and for this third and final match, we do have Fury of the Midwest versus Cadoodles. I'm gonna slow this down at one point where I feel like some explanation is needed, but I'll keep it fast for now. We do see Sableye versus Conkeldurr lead. It is a Guts Conkeldurr, as evidenced by this damage from knockoff after getting burnt. Conkeldurr is going to switch off into Heatran. Sableye is just going to recover up here. Magic Coat to prevent a possible Stealth Rock, but Lava Plume is instead going to crit and burn, taking out the Sableye with that 30% chance to burn. In comes Medicham, forcing the Heatran out into the Landorus Therian, and at this point, I'm gonna slow it down. So at this point, he switches in Landorus to drop the Medicham's attack, right? Medicham does have Ice Punch. It's implied that Medicham does have Ice Punch here. So the only reason that Landorus would be a good idea is if he was going to U-turn, which is with the Scarf, meaning he would outspeed whatever Cadoodles would bring in and do that. So that's exactly what Cadoodles expects, and we do see, I'll speed it up again, we do see the U-turn coming out. Ferrothorn is going to do a ton of recoil damage with the Rocky Helmet and Iron Barbs combo, as Conkeldurr comes out to threaten Ferrothorn with a fighting move. Drain Punch lands and almost takes it out, healing him back up to full, but he does take that recoil damage from Rocky Helmet and Iron Barbs. Leech Seed is going to land, healing Ferrothorn up a little bit, and doing even more damage to Conkeldurr with Leech Seed and Burn. We do see a switch back into Heatran as Florges comes out. Lava Plume isn't going to do very much damage and doesn't get the burn here, as Florges simply Wish Protects to heal off the damage from Heatran. Now we see Florges switches off into Medicham, again going to try and force out the Heatran. Flash Cannon is going to do not quite half, as this time we do see, here, I'm going to pause it for a sec. At this point, I'm really not sure why he decided to go into Zapdos, since Landorus would have actually been the better play, since if Medicham's got Ice Punch, that's going to knock out Zapdos regardless, so why not drop his attack in the process? Either way, maybe he just wanted to preserve Landorus, or maybe he has some sort of plan with the Zapdos, but at this point, it would have made more sense, in my eyes, to switch into Landorus. So here we do see Zapdos healing up a little bit with leftovers. Thunder Wave is going to paralyze that Florges. Probably that's the explanation, is he just wanted to get some status off. Florges is going to Wish as Medicham comes out. Lava Plume is going to land on Medicham, do over half, but isn't going to burn as Medicham does Thunder Punch. Not going for High Jump Kick for some reason here. Maybe he just doesn't have it. Either way, switches off into Landorus. This is good play generally into Medicham, as it is a fairly reliable check. Goes into Florges on the predicted U-turn, but Landorus does instead go for Earthquake, which is a 2-hit KO even through Citrus Berry. Ambipom comes in, and he's Fury of the Midwest switches into his Rocky Helmet Ferrothorn with the combination of Iron Barb's Rocky Helmet is going to do a ton of recoil damage to Ambipom on every single hit of Fury swipes, meaning the Ambipom just knocks itself out in one hit, and we do see the forfeit coming out from Cadoodles. A very, very funny end to what was otherwise a very close-looking match. Alright, and as a bonus, I might as well just go ahead and cover this random battle also, since it was quite funny. I'm going to go ahead and start this up. We do see the Wigglytuff versus Durant. I'm going to pause it real quick, actually explain. So Durant has a very high attack stat, fairly high speed stat, and it is choice banded, it has the ability Hustle, and it is using the move Iron Head. So Iron Head, of course, has that 30% chance to flinch. Choice Band increases its power by 1.5 times, and Hustle increases its power by another 1.5 times in exchange for an accuracy drop. So this Durant hits extremely hard, but is inaccurate. Now we see that he does flinch the Wigglytuff, 30% chance for that, and take it out with the Iron Head. In comes Hydreigon, who does have Fire Blast, 85% accuracy. Iron Head lands, and Fire Blast misses the 85% accuracy. Not going well for I'm Still a Guest. Iron Head lands on the Pangoro switch and crits it, 1/16th chance for that. In comes Pharaoh, misses the Drill Run. Iron Head is going to land. Drill Run is going to hit, but barely do any damage. Iron Head lands again, actually crits the Pharaoh. Not really necessary, but just kind of adding insult to injury at this point, as he also crits and flinches the Celebi. Celebi going to get a little bit of health back with leftovers, but not enough by far to take another Iron Head as Raikou comes in. Iron Head is going to crit and flinch the Raikou also, as Raikou, again, leftovers isn't enough to stop another Iron Head from taking it out. As somehow this Durant has hit every single Iron Head and is either crit or flinched his way past every single member of the opponent's team. Very, very funny match, and really a humorous display of hacks and how someone can get so absurdly lucky that they can win a match with a single move from a single Pokemon.